How about yeah, nature? I was at the park the other day, and I was thinking about my late sister, who I called her Fufu Shishi because like outdoors. No, she was a screened-in porch kind of person. That's as much outdoors as she necessarily needed or what have you. But she came to mind really strongly as I'm standing in the middle of the woods, thinking like she would. I don't think I could have ever convinced her to come out into the woods with me. And then she was like, you know, would have. And I was like, you know what? I really believe that, like, if I had asked her in the right way, I caught her at the right time, she might have come with me, like, to the woods to go look at the trees or what have you. But I mean, I sit and talk to them. I don't mind sitting on the ground. I look at ants crawl on me and stuff. I don't initially try to kill them. If they get kind of bad, then I'll start flicking them away or whatever. And as I'm walking through the woods, I see this woman walking her dog. And I greet her and ask her if I can meet her dog, because of course I love animals. And I just don't have any. And I ask her what her name is, and her name is the same name as my nephew's name. Her name, same sound. I didn't ask her how it was spelled. So I just kind of took that as like a God wink from my sister that I was feeling her presence. And she was confirming for me that it was her presence that I was feeling. So and I need to contact my nephew at some point, so I will. Yeah. Thank you so much for the likes. Thank you for sharing the live. Whew. Thank you, thank you. We're doing some double duty right now. I've got my cell phone here. I am live on TikTok. Yep, yes, I love God winks. And it's, yeah. It's so funny because they're just divine timing at play. And I remember I used to ask my sister, like, where's your faith? And whether I was asking myself, where's my faith? Like, oop. Oh, got a coconut. I'm just seeing if doing this was as easy as they made it look on the internet, and it is. I thought I was gonna need like a screwdriver, but like no. And I don't know why I chose to start picking at this right now, but yeah, I am. So it's happening. Coconut water is delicious. It is very satisfying. Coconut flesh is very satisfying. This thing just pssed at me. Okay. So I'm in here. Alright. And then because when you're digging a hole in the thing and trying to let something liquid out, you need more than one hole. So yeah. I'm telling you, and I think that, you know, yeah, it just goes to show that they're not as far away as we think. Like, spirit is always right there. That is true. I think that for me, I tend to get so caught up in the absence. I call it a knot spiral. When I get so focused on the absence that I forget the presence. And yeah. That is definitely a sign / message to anyone who has doubt of any kind. Like, just look for it. You'll always find what you're and just something comes along and just kind of confirms that thought. Now, this goes for negative self-talk as well. So this is really one. Yay, it's coming out. But yeah, so that's, as you think, the universe is responding to your individual vibration. So this is easy. This is so much easier than I thought it was going to be. I've been grabbing like tools and stuff. Like, yeah. But so before you leave the house or you go interact with anybody, look at yourself in the mirror. Tell yourself you're beautiful. You're sexy, you're amazing, your butt looks nice, all the things. Like and readings of late, like, you get used to saying the stuff to yourself that you want to hear from other people. So when it is said to you, one, you won't think it's a lie, but when someone does lie to you, it'll be more obvious because it won't resonate. You're not fulfilling some kind of lack with the words or actions of another person. They're confirming what you already know. So, and I find this it's true with anyone really that's been in a relationship or wants a relationship. You have to start loving on yourself the way you desire to be loved. Yes, I'm working on the negative self-talk and putting it in timeout. I want to be as positive with me as I am with others. Exactly. Encourage yourself when you feel alone. Help comes from the most amazing places, and everything you get and everything you don't get. Start looking at rejection as protection. Okay? When someone, they're not rejecting you, they're rejecting the aspect of you that you are reflecting to them, and that is a good thing because they can't take care of it. If you don't like it, you're not going to take care of it. So then we get to thinking that there's something wrong with, like, us as individuals, because why didn't they love me the way that I love them? Did they love themselves the way that they love them? Like, I've found often I've asked too much of folks that didn't love themselves enough. And I didn't feel like I was asking for a lot at all. But if somebody that doesn't love themselves, it seems like a lot. And don't somebody says that you're too much, tell them to go find less, but be yourself, please. We have enough carbon copies and copycats. We need some cool cats. These other eyes are giving me some. I'm like, do I have a straw? Put a straw in that thing. Oh. Okay. Ooh. That's good. So, so we have a hammer. We've got a coconut. We will get the hammer out later, but I'm just finishing getting the coconut water out of here because I am not moving from this spot for at least 30 minutes because my feet are soaking and it feels good. After they've soaked for a little bit, I'm going to sit here and rub my feet. And did I bring my lotion? No, whatever I don't have, I guess I'll just, yeah, I'll have it for later. So later on today we have fellowship at the church I've wandered into, and now I'll tell you, stopped going to church quite a few years ago, because when I got really adherent with my spiritual practices, did my prayers and meditations like every day, I'm having a conversation with God, and like I'm going to church and I'm getting confirmation of the downloads or whatever. So I'm just like, I don't need church. What do I need to go to church for if my connection with Source is such that and I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of church I went to. When I was prayed up and meditated in a state of grace, what the Most High was telling me was stuff that I heard from the pulpit. So I'm just like, okay. And so then I'm like, why do I need to go? And what question came back is your presence. It is your presence that is required. So I'm just like, So yeah, I guess I'm there to be, and as I am heart led to do, then I do. But that's the thing that's kind of befuddled me a little bit about my church experience, is that they seem to be suspicious of the things that I do. And I guess mainly because they know that I'm a shaman or what have you. But I'm like, I know a couple of shamans, and they're like people. They just like people. They're dicks, and they're nice folks. So no matter where you go, they're going to be somebody who is going to, I guess, kind of screw it up for everybody. The transgression of the few. I'm trying to find a church I feel comfortable in. COVID helped me to find someone I can watch on Zoom. Okay, that's cool. I appreciate the live, being there in person, for the energy in the room, because it's for me, I feel like it's more like the experience. The experience of being around other people, appreciating the message, and then also like meeting other people who are learning and growing as well. But see, the thing with what they have on Wednesdays is like more of like the fellowship group types of things. So I've only been to a couple. My intention is to go tonight and see. I saw online that one of the church members had their baby finally, so there's so many new babies being born, and it's a great place to see them. I completely agree. I just can't seem to find one that I'm comfortable in. Well, yeah. And I think maybe that is the lesson, though. Being uncomfortable for the sake of growth. Because that's how my relationship with this church is, or the place that I've been going at, because as individuals we are church. So but just knowing that I'm supposed to be there, and there is something there for me to see, be, do, and have. Like, I get to be myself, and give people the opportunity to get to know me, which is something that I tend not to do. So, right. So I mean, unless unless an individual comes to you directly and says, "Hey, you don't belong here," any feelings that we have, like at a place of worship, just they're coming directly from us. But it may just be our ego kind of going, "You don't belong here," to prevent us from like making new connections and friends. Because I think we all kind of have that a piece of us that's like, I don't, that slight imposter piece. I don't know. No, like, they're not gonna like you. I'm like, why not? I like me. I'm likable. I have a crass sense of humor, so I will give you a reason not to like me. And then you could just, yeah. But the people that don't like you are there, and particularly the ones that don't know you. If they don't like you and they don't know you, it's because they don't like themselves. Hey, what's up, Reddy? How you doing? Nice to see you. Thank you so much for the likes. Appreciate you. So, but yeah. And, so then later on tonight, there's the open mic at the Culture Lounge in Greensboro, North Carolina. I was talking to my comedian friend today about, like, I was like, man, I feel like I blow my sets. Like, every time I get on the mic or what have you, like, I'm prepared a little bit, but I'm just, like, I'm phoning it in, per se, but not really, like, kind of trying to bring the heat. And, but there's just, it ain't no, bring the heat, whatever. So, I mean, I'm working on, a routine, but I have to, like, kind of like a blender sort of thing, a smoothie. Just dump it all in there, blend it all up, and pour it out nice and slow. Ah, just sipping. I might have to bring a smoothie or some shit for myself, for myself to sip, because I've been doing well not to turn to like alcohol or, but I still smoke weed. Let's keep it a buck, people. Like, yeah, I don't necessarily intend to not smoke weed, so if anybody has a problem with that, then fine, but just take it to the Most High, you know what I'm saying? But I will acknowledge that I have stopped using alcohol and drugs as like a means of escape. I do kind of use it as a reward for myself for yeah, doing the things that I need to do, like, for myself. And working in the spiritual realm with like energy is work, and I mean, you really do have to prepare, just like with any other kind of job and whatnot. Thank you so much for the likes. Thank you. Welcome. So but yeah, what was I talking about? My set. So my friend is calls himself the king of weird shit. What's up, Ricky's move? He ought to be asleep right now, but we're talking, and I have him on speakerphone because when I get up, I'm like walking around, and I hear and I know right away that, like, that's the sound of a cat purring, and I was like, "Is that a cat?" He was like, "What'd you hear?" And I told him what I heard. Because the microphone on his phone was so sensitive, like, I could hear the cat purring, but he didn't even hear it. So, of course, I'm making crass jokes about, you know, petting on pussies in the morning and all this other kind of stuff, and I was like, yeah, that is some weird stuff. You know, you wake up and yep, you're playing with your pussies or whatever, and I just, like, yeah, I miss having pets. I miss, yeah. That might, who do I know that has pets? I can go love on their pets. You know what I'm saying? So, but, thank you so much. It's a beautiful day today. Still some more in there. These jokes just write themselves. Like, sucking on nuts in the sunshine, talking about how fine the frog hair is, or the hairs on the coconut, peeling hairs off a coconut. Yeah. It's this is very gangster. Ooh. Rocking my So Delight because I'm so delightful. Runaways, my voice, yeah, it can be frightful. Coley, the mom man, Shah man, she man, ant man. Come on, man! It's a man's world that needs a woman's touch, but do I have to be man enough? I mean, I do have a lady penis. It's called the clitoris. My balls are called ovaries. I'm over these petty comparisons. Compared with me, son or daughter, you gotta learn to love yourself. Now, the life is meant to be lived and lived abundantly. The experiences that you have that may be a challenge to you don't happen as a punishment. They happen because they're meant to happen to teach you. Know that help comes from the most amazing places, and everything you get and everything you don't get. And it's very possible, Kendall, that I didn't get the messages. So you never responded back to my messages. Okay. What you got to say? You're on here with me now. Okay, shorty, have a great day. Blessed be. Love you. I continue to keep you covered in my prayers. I'm grateful for you. Have a great day. I think I got it all out now. And because I'm here like literally on a live, I'm not looking at those messages. So is there something else? Hit it with the hammer. Coconuts. So, good stuff. So I don't know if you saw that on camera, off camera, whatever. Got nuts flying everywhere. Write your number down. If you are looking for a personal reading, that link is in my bio. I do telephone, video, as well as inner child healing sessions. Those tend to run a 3-hour minimum. Sweetie, don't put your number in. Oh, is it just us? Okay. Hang on. Do. On my little black book. Necesito un bolígrafo. So my Cash App is $ Coley Rock, COLEYROCKS. Thank you so much for your generous contributions. Okay. Okay. Oops. Sorry, this is... Okay. Okie dokie then. So you have a question? I wrote your number down since it's just us. Chop it up. Ask away. What's on your mind? Yeah. This is extremely satisfying. Boy, I tell you. Smashing this dagnab coconut is extremely satisfying. And, yeah. So I'm like, why do I need to try to break a nail trying to get this coconut free? So look at my toe. Oh man, my toes look so good. So yeah, let's look at my feet on a beautiful Wednesday. I've got some writing I want to do. And I figured I would just kind of like I have the live up and on my TikTok. I'm eating some fruit, and I had some banana earlier. Good potassium. I was thinking the other day, hey babe, how you doing? Oh, you left? It's okay. And like the cool thing about like foraging is that there's always enough for the immediate need. And I think kind of where we get messed up is where we think we need more than we have, but we're not doing something with what we have, so we don't appreciate it. So, but yeah, I have this book, The Good Life Lab, Radical Experiments in Hands-On Living. I happened to whip it out the other day. Good afternoon!
Doorbell.
I don't have that ding bell. You want to soak your feet?
Huh?
You want to soak your feet?
Soak my feet?
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
Nah? So good. I'm over here staring at my feet. You want to sit down?
Nah.
Why, you scared you're not going to be able to get up?
What?
I said, why not? Is you outside?
I'm fine.
Okay. Woo!
Can you hear this?
How could I not? Like, everything you do is so loud. Three, 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 three. Okay, so let's see. Contents. Part 1, Life Imagined. Part 2, Life Hands-On. Part 3, Life Lab. And, oh, it's in 3 parts. Awesome sauceum. So, forwards. Let's see how many. There are a lot of forwards. Okay. Let's see which. I'm going to read one of these forwards. Here we go. This is the forward by Pir Zia Inayat Khan, president of the Sufi Order International. Life is a single whole. In the end, nothing in this world is separate from anything else. You and I are who we are because of everyone and everything that has come before us. And everyone and everything that comes after us will bear the trace of who we have been, what we have thought, what we have said, and what we have done. The past is our heritage, the future is our legacy, and the present is our moment of truth. We have been born into a world that is fast changing. Never have so many men and women lived upon the earth. Never have men and women taken so much from the earth. The planet is groaning under the strain of our demands. Glaciers are melting, rivers are turning toxic, rubbish heaping up, species vanishing, all so that we may keep up a way of life that gives us happiness. But are we really happy? Wendy Zihanara, Tremaine, and Mikey Sklar set out to find a state of happiness that could not be bought with dollar bills. They let go of the corporate ladder and planted their feet on solid ground. By trial and error, with faith and vision, they built a new life, a life of work and play and celebration under the vast desert sky. This fascinating book tells their story. The dervishes of old were known for their patched robes. When their robes tore or wore out, rather than buying new ones, they patched the ones they had. In time, like Joseph's famous cloak, their robes became quilts of many colors. Wendy and Mikey have made the whole of their life a patchwork robe. For all with eyes to see, the priceless dervish robe is a manifest sign of the bounty that is forever. And I just picked that particular one based on the name of the author or what have you. So, preface. So love is the merchandise which all the world demands. If you store it in your heart, every soul will become your customer. That is Hazrat Inayat Khan. I am writing this book more than a half century after the publishing of Helen and Scott Nearing's classic Living the Good Life, How to Live Sanely and Simply in a Troubled World, 1954. The world that they found too brutal to remain a part of and chose to leave has hardly become less troubled. A simple life is even harder to find today than it was in 1932, when the Nearings left New York City to start a homestead in rural Vermont. Like the Nearings, we began our journey in New York, where a real estate agent and a package of ladybugs helped bring into focus one thing: we were going to have to leave the city if we wanted to lead the lives we dreamed about. My partner, Mikey, and I lusted for a life free of pointless drudgery. We wanted to do meaningful work that contributed to life and did not have a detrimental cost to others. We believe that the collective bounty of our planet, food, water, air, and shelter, ought to be available to everyone, whatever their economic status, and we wanted to be part of that vision. These ideals sound simple, but they have not been easy to follow. Not for us, not for the Nearings, and not for those inspired by their writings over the 50-odd years between their adventure and ours. In the city, we fantasized about living closer to nature. We wondered if it was possible to secure healthy food and clean water. Since the two of us had only lived in the suburbs and the city, Mikey and I had plenty of acculturated knowledge. That is, we knew how a complex society worked and how to work in it. What we craved was a more natural knowledge, a connection to nature and the rest of life. We tried to imagine a different sort of lifestyle, one less entangled with commerce, materialism, and the influences of marketing. The rewards of our fancy jobs we saw could never remedy what we felt. Thank you. We try to imagine a different sort of lifestyle, one less entangled with commerce, materialism, and the influences of marketing. The rewards of our fancy jobs we saw could never remedy what we felt was missing from our lives: time to develop our own creative ideas, participation in envisioning and shaping the world, and freedom from the exhausting work that we, along with many others, had become accustomed to. We wanted to explore what life could be in an environment free of at least some of the pressures of a monetary system and a society structured by capitalism, recognizing that an economy based on both perpetual growth and limited resources makes no sense. We started asking ourselves, what could be relied on. Contributing to the making of a different kind of economy seemed to us a reasonable thing to do. We never set out to prove that life could be lived without money, but we wanted to make our lives have less to do with it. Our hunch was that it would not be long before the economic system crashed anyway, so we pulled our retirement savings out of the stock market and hedged a new and less popular bet. We bought resources, an acre of land, and tools to make things. Mikey and I had each other and a shared vision. We set out to make a life that freed us to create, explore, learn, play, eat, and live without too much compromise to our souls. We didn't know that at the beginning just how wonderful a world it would be, nor did we know how soon after we made our new commitments we would see the old world come crashing down. In retrospect, our timing was excellent. Some of the techniques shared in this book are for people starting out in the commodified world. Without understanding the ways in which our commodified lives shaped us, we might have found ourselves thousands of miles from where we started, but no different for having traveled there. Once out in the desert of southern New Mexico, as makers of things, we learned the meaning of the saying that life is as interesting as your interest in it. As we moved away from consumer goods and services and learned to replace them with what we could make ourselves, we became interested in and better versed in many types of knowledge: biology, chemistry, botany, construction, physics, herbalism, and electronics, to name a few. We found ourselves doing everything from textile design to car repair. We came to this lifestyle with no special skills or talents, just a bit of courage, inspiration, and genuine curiosity. You can bet we made plenty of mistakes, and you're going to hear about some of them. Yet we were able to achieve most of what we set out to do. Today, we happily live on a homestead that we designed and constructed ourselves, grow and wildcraft our own food and medicine, make our own household goods and fuel, and produce our own power, not because we're super talented, but because we're human beings, and human beings are inherently creative. There is no such thing as an uncreative person. This is too easy to forget in our current economic system, in which customers don't need to know very much. The less people know, the more finished goods they buy. Our current economic system doesn't encourage deep thinking, because that leads to seeing the enormity of the cost of the human labor and natural resources that bring us cheap goods. But as makers of things, our quality of life actually hinges on your understanding of the larger world, and so a deeper interest in life naturally blooms along with your skills. Once you become a creator rather than a consumer, a wonderful discovery awaits. You are more than you may have thought yourself to be. By connecting to nature, Mikey and I have begun to see how our lives meet up with the life of this world. My biggest hope is that this book will point you towards the very same spot. Mikey and I are hardly free of the commodified world. We rely on it still. We use technology to run our cottage industry and store-bought tools to build our homestead. We pump city water to our gardens and purchase ready-made appliances. What changed is our thought process. We recognize compromises when we make them and strive to make better choices as our knowledge and skills advance. What we have to offer you is our story, process, and discoveries, along with the effect that our choices had on our lives. Creating a decommodified life is a lifelong process. Perhaps one day we will hear your story, along with new and better ways to meet the challenges we encounter. I wouldn't claim that the lifestyle that Mikey and I chose is the way to live. It is a way to live. If we had kept our jobs and stayed part of the mainstream economy, we would never have learned what we have. We wouldn't have had the time. So that was the preface. Hang on a second. No. Almost done with the preface. Our first proper dome survived monsoon season and met its first double rainbow. Ooh. I'm gonna show it to the TikTok people too. See that? Yeah. So, are we still live? Okay, yeah, we're still live. Alright. Our story is likely different from yours, but perhaps it offers something useful to people who are on the brink of changing their own lives. Fundamental to all our stories is that lives are imagined before they come into being. We hope we will imagine something beautiful. If we make the best of this time, perhaps history will call it the start of a renaissance. We are the first people alive to witness the condition of the entire world being for sale. If we become makers of things, we become the revolutionaries of our age. The lessons in this book are some of the most valuable lessons of my life. I offer them to you with the hope that what I learned can bring benefits to your life as well. So that was the preface of the Good Life Lab Radical Experiments in Hands-on Living. Now, when I grabbed this book the other day, I happened to flip through and see like something on kombucha in here, so I was like, okay, that's something that I already do. So apparently this is right in line with, yes, my interest of late. I have been studying essential oils, massage, plant-based healing. I understand the uses of plants like as medicine, so that is really dope there. So we're going to close this video on out so I can go ahead and get it uploaded. Toes is still soaking. It's time to see toes dripping. And yes, so this soak is, man, it is doing really good, and I can smell like the herbs and everything, so it's enjoyable. But okay, my name is Nicole. My friends call me Coley. I am the Mom and Shaman. This has been just, yeah, some time with my foot soak today. The Good Life Lab, Radical Experiments in Hands-on Living, kind of show and tell a bit of that. So let me know if you want to know what was in the foot soak, or I invite you to do a foot soak of your own. See what things you have around you and ask Spirit to inspire you. The only way that you can get close, well, not only way, but one of the ways that you can improve your intuition is by trusting and communicating with it. So ask your intuition to show you some things and start noticing what you notice. If you want to book a personal reading, I'm sure I mentioned that earlier, there is a link in the description. I do offer a telephone as well as video and in-person sessions. I've been doing inner child healing sessions, which run about 3 to 4 hours, and that is honestly like a commitment of time. You'll need at least 3 sessions, and then you have a good basis to continue like on your own, and then we can kind of touch up after that. But if that's something that you're interested in, hey, let me know. Thank you so much for your contributions. Thank you so much for your donations. Thank you so much for patronizing my business, assisting me with selling my coloring pages. I'm in the process of creating a journal, so that is coming as well. I'm grateful to be able to live within my purpose, using the knowledge that I have as part of my vocation in this image nation with no imagination. We all want to live above our station, but when you get connected to the source, indeed, you will respect my authority, because I'm tied to the Most High. Now, I don't mean weed, but I will roll one from time to time. I rhyme on a timeline that can't be beat. Hey, we're about to meet. B, take care of the sides. Coley's got dessert, many flavors of ice cream, and I prefer nuts in mine. I hope you have a beautiful day or night, whichever time you're watching this. I love you.